cracking day for a bike ride, eh? Enjoying the sunshine and the wonderful outdoors at the moment. Obviously we're going through a bit of a tough time with this lockdown and everything else that's going on, but riding a bike and running, is certainly something to do to keep fit, and obviously no gyms as well, so it's certainly been a lot of bike riding of late. Now, speaking of the outdoors, today we're going to be joined by one of the kings of the outdoors in American basketball back in the day. His nickname is Homicide. He's one of the best basketball commentators in Australia. And we'll find out his thoughts on the NBA season, whether it's going to be finished this year, and could we maybe even see some games overseas as well. And the NBL future after the coronavirus. His thoughts on that, plus much, much more on Legends with Bevo.
Welcome to Legends with Bevo. Thanks to the Holdy Hotel, Coopers, and Anytime Fitness Glenelg.
Well, g'day and welcome to Legends with Bevo. Once again, we're joined by one of the stars of ESPN basketball here in Australia and around the world. Also see him on SBS Viceland, and he was a star with the Townsville Crocodiles back in the day, winning the MVP for the best and fairest of the competition back in 2010. He is Corey Homicide Williams. Mate, great to have you on.
How you doing, Bevan?
I'm going well. How are you going over there in Melbourne, and how are you going with this whole COVID-19 situation, mate?
Yeah, well, it's a serious, situation. So all we can do is stay positive as best as we can, stay indoors, and, just stay positive and stay busy, So I just, obviously been on this probably about my 50th podcast.
You're a popular
in
man.
like a month. But, just staying busy.
Yeah, so what have you been doing? You've been doing some home workouts and playing some ball yourself and keeping fit?
I've been doing home workouts. I've been putting up a lot of content on my social media, doing a lot of podcasts. But this pause in life, it's given me time to just reflect, on the journey and the more important things in life right now. Spending time with my partner, and just figuring out the next phase of life, and if and when things get back to normal, what does that look like?
And we saw the NBA being one of the first ones to postpone their season. Obviously, we've seen the AFL and all these other sports around the world doing the same kind of thing. Could you actually see the NBA season still being finished off, or do you think they'll just postpone it now to next year?
I think that they have to finish the year. They're so close to finishing. So I just hope that, they'll pick it up where they left off in the next upcoming months and go from there. I think this is the best chance for the Lakers and LeBron James to win a championship. It would really suck if they weren't able to finish off this season.
It'd be a great way to pay tribute to Kobe, wouldn't it, for them to win the championship?
It really would be. They have so much momentum. A couple weeks back, LeBron had a Friday-Sunday game where they played the Bucks, they won. They played the Clippers that Sunday, and they won. So he just showed that not only is he the best player in the league, but the Lakers are the best team in the league.
Absolutely. No, let's hope we can get that happening. Could you actually see, if America can't host the games, could you actually see them being played, like, say, overseas in another country even?
No, I can't see that happening.
No? So it has to be America?
It would have to be on U.S. soil.
Yeah. And what about the NBL? Do you think after this COVID-19 situation that the NBL will be affected in any way? As I'm speaking for the NBL in this, we're just extremely lucky and grateful that we were at least able to finish our season. Think about it, when you put a bit of perspective behind this whole topic right now, it could easily be round one in the NRL and AFL. How would the NBL be able to sustain a hit like that financially? They would not have been able to, and it would have been a disaster. We're not as big as AFL and NRL. NRL is going through some pains as well, on the brink of, potential bankruptcy if they don't start up soon. So it's just a very difficult time. We've never seen anything like this in over 100 years, so we don't know how to deal with it. Yeah. But as far as moving forward, I do believe that, the NBL will start up. It's just a matter of when, and, that remains to be seen. Yeah, because we've obviously got that excitement with the new team in Tassie as well. Will that still go ahead and be okay, you think, with all the situation? I mean, the new Tasmanian team won't be until the 21-22 season. So it's still, over 18 months until the Tasmania team would have to be fully activated and playing on the court in the NBL. So I just think more is right now about the safety of the players, and basically they're doing everything that they could possibly do to ensure that the best situation is will be brought to the table and executed. And just really happy that at least come September, hopefully before then, there will be an actual plan put into play and executed to where the season can begin. Hopefully it can start in October like it does every year, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, fingers crossed with that one, mate. Now, obviously, Perth Wildcats back-to-back champions with the NBL. They ended up being the 3-game final series instead of the 7 games. Were you happy with how that ended up finishing, or do you think they should have just canned it and not given anyone the championship?
I mean, they were up 2-1. So if you're up and, the other team decides to not play for fear of safety, which they have every right to, if you're going to stop it, the team who's up in the series 2-1 should win the champion, should be declared champion. It's that simple. That's not even nothing to really debate or, have an issue about. So
you think the right decision was made? Yeah, was the right decision made in the end?
Ultimately, of course, they're up 2-1.
Yeah, because obviously you've had some interesting situations with Perth over the years. So were you going for the Sydney Kings, or were you a bit of a mutual supporter of that series?
I mean, I wasn't going for any team, but I just felt based off the defense that the Sydney Kings were playing, if the best player in the land is averaging 35 points per game and you're going to continue to play that type of defense on him, how are you going to win?
No, you've answered that one pretty well. And let's go back to your own career personally. You started playing over there in America. You were on a few NBA squads, couldn't quite crack it to the actual main season, but then you came over to Australia and played with Townsville. I mentioned you you won an MVP in 2010. Talk us through your career, Homicide.
Well, I have a career that I'm very proud of. After leaving college, I didn't have any agents or anybody really helping me or checking for me, or there weren't any opportunities for me, so I had to take a very, very interesting path and use playground basketball in New York City as a platform to jumpstart my career, which ultimately got me a shot to the NBA. From there, my resume started looking better. I played in the minor leagues, and it's just once you get cut from the NBA, teams abroad look at you different. If you're on the cusp of making an NBA, you are a high-quality player, which allowed me to get a better agent and better opportunities abroad to show what I can do. I was able to hit the ground running in Australia and had a really good run over 4 seasons. One of the seasons, obviously, like you said, I got MVP of the league. 2 of the years out of the 3 years when I was in Townsville, we lost game 3 to go to the grand final. We had that was success for us as underdogs in Townsville. We did the best we could possibly do. And I went and signed with Melbourne Tigers late in the season. The following year, didn't make the finals. And then I went to the Middle East for about 5-6 seasons. And I ultimately brought me back here with this incredible opportunity to be an analyst and a commentator, talk about all things in the NBA right now, as I currently do.
And you formed a great combination with another wonderful bloke, JC, John Casey. What makes you guys such an awesome commentary duo?
I love John Casey. John Casey is an OG with the wealth of experience. You can learn so much from him. I've learned so much from him, just watching him, how he goes about his business, how he handles himself. He's the ultimate professional. I was very fortunate to be a part of what I call the dream team. I deemed us the Australian Rat Pack, which is John Casey, Andrew Gay, Shane Heal, and myself, when I was able to be one of the 4 to comment to a sideline report while they were, analysts for the Team USA games and a historic game that was at Marvel Stadium against the Boomers, Team New Zealand, Canada. And we did 6 games in, I believe, 11 days all around Australia. So it was just the stuff that I'm learning from him and the other 2 guys that I mentioned was just him and Andrew Gaze. I mean, you can't get any more luckier than to be around these guys. These are the creme de la creme of calling games in Australia. So I'm just really grateful to have the opportunity to be around them every day because, you know, these guys have been doing this for years. You have to remember, this is my 3rd full season doing with them. So I'm still wet behind the ears a little bit. And I'm just very grateful for the advice that he and they give me.
We love having you, mate. And yeah, like I mentioned before, your duo with JC is just awesome. The banter and stuff that you boys have is just fantastic, and we all love it.
Thank you so much.
Now, something that I find very interesting, a lot of people find interesting as well, is that the feuds that you've had on Twitter with Andrew Bogut. Talk us through that. Are you guys mates, or is this is this a bit of a blow up, or what's the story? Do you generally not like each other?
No, it's just banter, man. You got to remember that in sport culture in Australia, these things don't happen. It may happen once, but it does not consistently happen. Andrew Bogut is a pillar of Australian basketball. He's an NBA champion. What he's done for the NBL, playing in it, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP of the league, brought respect back to the Sydney Kings organization. What he's done for basketball in Australia, he has endorsed the NBL to the rest of the world to know that this league is not a cupcake league. So also on top of that, he's played 14 years in the NBA. Do you understand the type of criticism he's gotten and his team has gotten over 14 years? This is nothing new for him. It's just interesting to watch it in his backyard at home in Australia with the guy that, you know, they go back and forth, but it's just basketball talk, man. This is nothing.
And we saw how good he was this year in the NBL, you know, almost single-handedly took the Sydney Kings to the championship this year. It was amazing, wasn't it?
Well, it was great what he has helped do for the Sydney Kings, which is bring the respect back. They were in first place all season and could not win the championship. I just felt that defensively, you know, their scheme and what their defensive scheme was versus the Perth Wildcats wouldn't work. Wildcats beat them out of 4 games this year in the regular season, 3. Why would you continue to play that defense or think that type of defensive scheme you play is going to win you a championship when a team in the regular season beats you 3 out of 4 times? It's not going to work. And it proved in the grand finals. It didn't work. Even if the pandemic did not hit, you would not have won the championship. You're playing the same defense and the same guys killing you with these same shots. How is it going to work?
Yeah, Bryce Cotton's unbelievable. It's
unbelievable. And you're playing him the same way. How is it going to work?
How's he not playing the NBA, though? That's my question.
He's a tweener. He's a tweener. There's guys that can do what he does 3-4 years younger, 5-6 more inches on him, and way more muscle on him. He's an NBA talent, no doubt, but, you know, it's just about right timing and opportunity. That's what it is. There's plenty of guys not in the NBA that can play in the NBA, but they don't get the right opportunity. That's why it's, you know, the opportunities and the avenues to go across the water and play professionally and get paid to play ball is incredible. Go, you know, apply your talent somewhere else and become great somewhere else and be appreciated somewhere else. And that's what he's doing.
That's one of the things I find really cool at the moment, Homicide, is obviously this year we've seen young Hampton and we've seen LaMelo Ball come across and play in the NBL. Do you feel as though the NBL is getting that a bit closer now to the NBA in terms of the talent that's going overseas and will coming back here as well?
I think that the NBL has done an incredible job aligning themselves with the NBA and doing things like the NBA, and that's why they've gotten elite competition, elite talent rather, and the competition is world class. You know, follow the greats, and if you align yourself with the greats and you follow their footsteps, how can you not be great? You know what I'm saying? If you want to be the best, you got to do what the best do as best as you can. We don't have a $1 trillion, $1 billion budget, but, you know, with what we have, we've maximized it. And that's what you can do. And that's why this league is now recognized as elite, world-class, and well-respected.
Yeah, well said. And obviously, one of the most exciting things next year is the Boomers' medal chances, because for the first time in a long time, we're, you know, realistic chance of winning a medal next year in Tokyo. Obviously, it's been postponed to next year now. How do you see the Boomers' chances?
Well, that's interesting. They definitely have a chance. They're ranked 3rd in the world, and that's how incredibly talented and respected this team is. They lost to France for 3rd place, and they are ranked still 3rd in the world, and France is 4th. That's incredible in itself. They have a chance. You know, it's just about seeing. I think, you know, it would have been obviously better if they played this year, but, you know, who knows what Bogut's going to do? You know, who knows if his body hold up? You know, is he going to take a year off and play next year in the Olympics? Or will he come back for year 3 in the NBL? Or will he go, you know, look at front office opportunities with the Sydney Kings? You know, he's a vital part of that leadership group with the Boomers. And he brings a wealth of knowledge and experience with international competition for the Boomers. So who knows what that center position will look like for them. And they'll have a chance, but, you know, it's on them to execute. We have to remember what happened last year at World Cup. You know, they had, your chances and opportunities don't get any better than that.
Yeah.
You know, and they were not able to make it happen. But, you know, Olympics, see how we go. See how they go. Good luck to them.
Fingers crossed, exactly, well said. And I'd like to know myself personally, your nickname Homicide, where does that come from?
Came from playground basketball. The commentators, MCs, and street ball courts gave me a name based on my style of play. They said I committed basketball homicide on my opponent.
I love it. That's awesome. And a final question for you. I heard from a little birdie that you're not the best golfer going around. Tell us more about that.
That's that. I can tell you I'm not the best golfer, but once this thing opens back up, I'll be on the green getting better. I can only get better.
You and me both, mate. I did get a hole in one in the par 3 once, but I'm a terrible golfer as well. But I do love the game. Yeah. It's a fun game, isn't it?
Yeah, I took Sabrina to the President's Cup. Was fortunate to go and saw Tiger Woods live, and it was, man, it just inspired me seeing the whole crowd, the whole President's Cup just move when he moved. It was incredible. So I immediately was inspired, got some golf clubs, shout out to TaylorMade, got myself and Sabrina some clubs, so we'll definitely be hitting the green.
I love it, mate, and I love the work that you do with the basketball as a commentator, and loved it when you were a player as well back in the day. What you bring to basketball in Australia and around the world is just fantastic. We need more Corey Homicides in this basketball world, so keep up the great work. Great to chat to you, mate, and we'll look forward to speaking again soon.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the love, man. Thank you, and you have a good day and stay safe.
Same with you, buddy. Take care. See you, mate.
Peace.
Legends with Bevo. Thanks to the Holdie Hotel, Coopers, and Anytime Fitness Glenelg.